Man, working with Mr. McMahon was it was very nerve-wracking just because everything was so last minute and so random, and being able to adapt and do a promo live on TV, getting it last second and being with the boss, and not wanting to mess up because you want to keep your job. It's a lot of pressure.
You're facing John Cena at WrestleMania 39, which is going to be held at SoFi Stadium this year, going to be streaming on Peacock. So what was your reaction when you learned that you're going to take on an icon on WWE's biggest stage?
Man, I'm sure John Cena felt really good when he found out he was going to take on an icon like Austin Theory. I
There you
mean, I'm
go.
sure he was pumped, he was motivated. But yeah, man, the story here is at 8 years old, the first thing I ever seen when it came to WWE was John Cena. Uh, Definitely an inspiration, definitely a motivation. As the years have carried on, with me chasing that dream to get to the WWE and finally getting there, a lot of people have said that I am the next John Cena. That at some point within the past year has really resonated with me differently. Just because I feel like, them saying I'm the next John Cena kind of just amplifies that I'm going to do everything like him. And I think the time that I put into this, the work that I put into this, and, how much sacrifice that, I put into this, man, I want to be the first Austin Theory. I don't want to be compared to this John Cena. And at WrestleMania, that's what I have to prove. I have to prove that I'm my own person, that I can hold this, that I can walk on to Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania and show the world that I'm inevitable, that this is meant to happen, and that I'm the guy that's going to take this United States Championship to the top.
And when you're taking on someone like Cena, will you do anything differently on the day of the event, or will your daily or pre-preparation routine stay the same?
Man, honestly, I'm gonna keep doing what I've been doing.
Right.
It obviously it works and it keeps me where I need to be. And I think if I do anything differently, it might throw me off. And I think I'm just in a pattern now where I know exactly what I need to be doing.
Of course. And this match is actually pretty interesting because everyone knows how many world championships Cena has won, but he's also done well at the United States championship level, winning it 5 times, tied for the most in WWE history. So for you, what would it mean for you? And I guess you kind of answered this question already, but what would it mean to you to beat Cena at WrestleMania?
I think we all know what John Cena means to the WWE and also to the world. He's an anomaly. He's somebody that there's no one like him. And me beating him, I think it gives me that recognition that I've been looking for. I won an elimination chamber, didn't hear much. I beat a guy that I grew up watching rival with John Cena, and that's Edge. Nobody said much about that. WrestleMania 39, the biggest show of all shows in the WWE, in sports entertainment, right there in SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles, California. And I got John Cena, and me beating him there, the whole world will know. The whole world will stand still after that referee counts three. And they're gonna know that I am the forever champ. And I'm taking over, man. This match, it's gonna solidify all of that.
Absolutely. And, as I mentioned, WrestleMania is going to take place at SoFi Stadium with your match with Cena along with the other matches. Do you expect this year's WrestleMania to be the biggest in WWE history?
Oh man, it's already the biggest. It
There you go.
already is. You put Austin Theory on, it's already the biggest. But we got matches that like we thought we'd never see. Like one I'm very interested in is the Brock Lesnar and Omos match. I mean, that's a match that I don't even know what's going to happen. I just hope we have a stadium left.
Of course, yeah, you're right about that. And when you talk about your career, you made your main roster debut in 2020 in the thick of the pandemic. What was the biggest thing you learned about that experience, especially with those shows not having fans?
Man, you really just gotta figure out like kind of what works for you. And I think in that time, I was kind of just trying to figure out myself. During that pandemic time, we were all just in a weird scenario where all we do is, rely on the WWE universe. That's our energy. That's our bloodline to say. And without them, that energy, you've got to try to create it on your own, which I think is I don't want to say it's impossible, man, but without that energy, it just changes the game. So I think in that time, the biggest thing I learned is really how important the WWE universe really is.
It absolutely is. And, after your main roster debut, you spent some time there, went back to NXT, then you came back to the main roster in 2021. You got to work with Vince McMahon closely. So, how was that experience and what did you learn from him?
Man, working with Mr. McMahon was it was very nerve-wracking just because everything was so last minute and so random, and being able to adapt and do a promo live on TV, getting it last second and being with the boss, and not wanting to mess up because you want to keep your job. It's a lot of pressure, but I think working with him really helped me catapult myself into bigger scenarios and bigger situations. And I think that's why people have seen me get to the level I have at such a young age and really just rise to the occasion.
And I see you wearing the Atlanta Braves hat. I'm from Atlanta. I know you went to WrestleMania when it was in Atlanta in 2011. I was there as well. So, what was it like for you to take part in your first WrestleMania match not too long ago? Even when afterwards, it was a few years after you were just watching WrestleMania at the Georgia Dome.
Yeah, man, that all is something I always think about when I show up at a WrestleMania, and I'm going to think about it this year. Getting to be a part of WrestleMania in Atlanta, getting to see that main event of John Cena and The Miz and The Rock getting involved, and now know that I am going to be at WrestleMania against John Cena after sitting in the crowd in that Georgia Dome in Atlanta. That feeling is it's almost like I could say that I knew it was going to happen, but I don't know all the detail of how things work out. I just knew I would be here, and that moment it's going to be very surreal to know that, whoa, how full circle this really all is.
Absolutely. And you signed your WWE contract in 2019 after spending a few years on the independent circuit. So were you surprised to find out that WWE wanted you at first, just at 22 years old?
No, man, I honestly wasn't surprised. I
Mm.
had a mission as a kid to do everything that I could to get to the WWE at a young age. I knew the independent route that I needed to take. And as soon as I figured out, oh, this is where WWE pays attention, this is where I need to be, let me get to the top here. So it was one of those things where I knew it was in the works of coming. But of course, when you get that initial email and you're in and you have that tryout or you getting accepted, it's a roar of emotions that you feel, especially for me being a lifelong fan and somebody that's wanted to turn this into a lifestyle.
And what do you think has been the biggest key for you when it comes to your fast rise in the company?
I think it's being able to just stay calm and collected. And that kind of takes me back to, those scenarios where I was doing the backstages with Mr. McMahon. Those are high pressure situations. There's only a little bit of time. You don't want to mess up. You want to make sure you have every word, even though you might have got it in the last 10 minutes. Um, just being able to hang in there like that and just, it really just keeps me prepared for anything.
Right. And then for those young competitors who want to be in your spot right now, what advice do you give to those who are just looking to not just be in WWE, but to become a WWE champion?
Man, the biggest thing, and this might sound super simple,
Yeah.
is believing in yourself. And you got to go deeper when you hear that and not just think, okay, I believe in myself. I want to do it. It's like you really got to know that you have it. And you got to really know that you have every corner covered, every bit of detail, everything that from your standpoint that's going to have you prepared for that. And for me, that's where I was, believing in myself. And that's where I've always been. And even in this position right now, that's why I can walk into SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles with the greatest WWE superstar of all time, John Cena. And I can go in there and I can beat him because I believe in myself. And that's what it's all about.
Absolutely. And some last question for me before I let you go is you have accomplished a lot in your short time in WWE, and you talked about how The expectations are high for you, being called the next John Cena, being compared to John Cena. But where do you see yourself in WWE within the next 5 years? What goals do you have set for yourself?
Man, in the next 5 years, I would say really just being at the very absolute top, because I'm definitely on my way there, especially
Mhm.
after WrestleMania. But we all know, it's cool to be on top, but it's about staying up there. And I think within the next 5 years, if I'm on top, it'll mean that I've been staying on top.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it. Well, Austin, thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate it. Good luck to your WrestleMania and continued success to you.